What's up, you guys? It's Jonno. Today I'm going to do a quick little Photoshop video for you. This is a look into my life when I'm making the Clash of Clans photos for Instagram. I do a lot of Instagram posts, probably way too many Instagram posts. I just get these cool ideas and I put them together, mostly in Photoshop. So here is a quick look at my workspace. Now this idea is based off of something that I saw in the forums. Let's take a quick little peek at the forums here. People were talking about quests. And what the hell is a quest? Well, a quest is like, I don't even know. So I thought to myself, what would that look like? What would it be like? I've seen quests in other games. They're basically like things that you can do to keep the game going, and you get rewards for those quests, and I'd love to get more rewards, kind of like the goblin maps, but they wouldn't run out. Maybe you could keep getting more quests or something like that. So I was thinking, all these people seem to want to get quests. There's all these references to quests on the forums. That's just on page 1, and there's hundreds of pages here. So I put together my own little version of what I think quests should look like or would look like. So this is based off of real Clash of Clans resources that I hacked together in Photoshop. So I wanted to go ahead and show everybody what I have done here and how I put it together, because some people were like, whoa, that's so real. It looks real. It must be real. And I'm like, that's funny. I'm really good at Photoshop, but it's not real. I wish it was real, and I hope it's going to be real, but I just put this together for fun to show my fans and to show off what I think would be a really cool way to update the game. So let's go ahead here, and we're going to look at what I did layer by layer. So first let's take off the banner up at the top. There goes the banner. Goodbye banner, and you can see there's a little bit of background there that's left over. So let's go ahead and just for a second take off the background, and you can see where I started was actually this image here, and I was like, well, I think I can do something a little bit different than that. So I kind of knew what I wanted to do. I covered up some elements so that it all looked like it was one picture, and I put my own custom text on there. So we can go ahead and remove that again, and let's go see some of the other changes that I made. That was its own element right there. That's just a little note scroll that I got from Google. Thank you, Google. Google Images there. I had to delete some of the stuff behind it so that it wouldn't show. So you can see I've got some of that star that's removed there. And also, let's see, what was this? I would put in this layer right here. That's the elixir, the dark elixir collector icon. And I also put in this layer right here, the gem collector icon. So those are both added. Let's see, Barbarian King is right there. Goodbye, Barbarian King. He's just added right on top. Let's see. Oh yeah, so I had to rewrite the text up there, and I had to remove the text that was originally there. It said stars total, so I had to remove that entirely, which was a kind of interesting process in and of itself. The way that I did that was I grabbed a box right here so I could isolate the area that I wanted to cover, and then within that box I used my gradient tool. So my gradient tool is going to make me a gradient. So I chose my foreground color as this color on the left, and I chose my background color as this color over here on the right. They're just slightly different colors. And then when I draw my gradient, let's see, I have to be on the correct layer in order to do that. When I draw my gradient, it actually draws me a nice box that goes from those two colors, and it just basically covered up that text for me really quickly. And then you'll notice that I put my box really close to the edge there on that white so that I wouldn't have too much cleanup to do there on that edge. I did have a little bit of cleanup that I had to do, and you can see I didn't quite get it all, but it's very unnoticeable at the end of the day. There's little details that you just have to walk away from so you can get the job done. So that was just one of those interesting things. I've got my, my text that was actually right there, so we can go ahead and deselect that, and let's go ahead and get back to where we can see the whole image. So here's a couple other things that I put in. Scrolls total, there's my, my Jonno Plays COC. I also had to do quite a bit of work with the clone stamp tool. Now the clone stamp tool is this crazy tool where you can take a little tiny piece of what's over here, and then you can put it over here and basically copy over entire sections of stuff. So that's a really nice tool. It did say 150 stars out of 150 stars here, and I took out the 1 and the 5 and changed it down to 0 out of 150. that seems pretty accurate to me of where you would start. They would start you off at 0. So that's what I did there. I used the clone stamp tool. The clone stamp tool is absolutely a fantastic tool. It's made it to where I can recreate whole rocks basically, so I can just redraw an entire rock if I needed to. So it's really great tool. I use that tool probably more than anything in a lot of my edits. So let's go ahead and move on here. I've got a couple more layers turned on. You can see I obviously brought in the town halls, Town Hall 10 and Town Hall 9 right there. And then of course we've got my background, and then we're all the way back to where I started, and I used very few elements from this actual background. You can see when I get the couple elements that I have on there, I've only got the very top bar up here that I'm using, and I just used that to frame my picture because I thought it made it look more official, so I liked that look and I used it. It doesn't really make sense why the wood grain is this color here and then that color there, so that is the one mistake that I would say I made on this edit, but I don't really think people noticed that too much, and it wasn't worth it to me to use the clone stamp to take some part of this area and copy over this whole X tool. I thought the X made it look more realistic. And as you can see here, I've got my old map layer. That was the map or the scroll that I was going to use initially, and I just didn't think that it looked enough like a Clash scroll. I thought that this scroll was actually much better, so I went ahead and used this scroll instead of this scroll because it just wasn't looking right to me, and I wanted it to look as realistic as possible, and I think I did accomplish that because a lot of people said that it looked really realistic, so that's pretty cool. I had a lot of fun making that. Let's go ahead and move on back, and you guys can see I've got all my layers turned back on now, and I need to get one of these turned off because it doesn't need to be there, and it is a hard one to find. There we go. So that's basically the end of my video, you guys. This is my little Photoshop expose. I'm just showing you guys how I work, what I do in Photoshop. It's just a fun little thing I put together, how I think that the hero quests would go. So basically, I'm going to do one more little rundown for you. I think what's happening here is that your heroes get to go on their own personal quest, so you can take your king or your queen, and then you can take them to a Town Hall 9 or a Town Hall 10, give them a little supporting army maybe, bring some healers or something like that, and then the strategy is to be able to take out these really advanced bases where you have a really maxed out Town Hall 9 or a really maxed out Town Hall 10, and then they give you these different bases, different combinations, and make them varying degrees of difficulty, and then give you different payouts for them. So you would always have little quests that accumulate every few hours or maybe once a day or something like that, and you can get some Dark Elixir from the quest or get some gems from the quest, and that's really all you're looking for when you're at the max Town Hall 10 anyway. So to me, that's like the most interesting part of what's going to happen here. How do we get some rewards? How do we get some interesting practice? We all want to learn how to practice against Town Hall 9s and Town Hall 10s, but nobody wants to get up to champions, and nobody wants to then spend all your trophies learning how to do different techniques, and then you're going to lose all your trophies. You're up in champions, you get back down to masters because you're trying out stuff, it doesn't work maybe. So it would be cool to be able to test those strategies in an environment where there's some payout and you don't have to lose your trophies. So that's why I think that the quests are definitely coming. I think that everybody wants quests. I think other games have quests, and Supercell can obviously see the logic for having quests. It keeps people active on a day-to-day basis who might otherwise fall out of the game and not want to play the game anymore, which is a very big risk when you start to max out Town Hall 10. And I've seen some players who fall out even before Town Hall 10 just because it's too much grinding, it's too much of the same, there's not enough to keep it interesting. So that's why I do feel like quests really are coming, and I hope that Supercell will take this into consideration and see maybe what the fans want and see what people would like out of some quests. Alright, you guys, that's the end of my video. I want to thank everybody for watching. Thanks to everybody who subscribes to my Instagram. Thanks to everybody who subscribes to my YouTube channel. And peace!